Patience, dude. Wise men say, you can't rush perfection.
Man, if only we could take our own advice. Warning. Before the salt starts flowing, I want to clear something up. This video isn't coming from a fan of TMNT. I've been aware of the franchise ever since I was a kid, yes, but I never got into it. So if anyone's hoping I'm going to delve deep into the lore of TMNT or cover anything like that, or compare it to previous TMNT titles, you're gonna be disappointed. I am, however, a fan of Platinum games. I do my best to play every game that they've put out, and have done so excluding Infinite Space, Mad World, and the recently released Star Fox Zero. I've got history with Platinum, much like many of you watching, and I put a ridiculous amount of faith into their games. Faith that, yeah, perhaps is shaken now, to say the least. Look, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I wanted this video to be a selling point. I was prepped and ready to finish off the Platinum licensed game trilogy with a third recommendation video, but Mutants in Manhattan doesn't deserve it. I would even go pretty far in the opposite direction, actively urging people away from buying this game at any price point, at any level of expectation. Look, Platinum didn't come to my house and murder my parents or anything. Turbo Button did that, but there's really no price point you should put on a game this boring or this lazy, and that's exactly what TMNT is. And look, I already know what you're gonna say.
But Vash, you said this was gonna be Game of the Year. Don't you feel stupid at how wrong you were about everything?
And yeah, sure, I could have been more skeptical, but let's be real, no amount of uncertainty was gonna make me doubt Platinum, at least not enough to cancel a pre-order. A lot of people were concerned about Mutants in Manhattan pre-launch, but I never saw the same issues that they did. And even now, I don't think anybody foresaw all the issues that this game has. I'm not the only one who does this, of course, but when I see Platinum working on a project, I start out with certain expectations of the final product. Expectations for fun combat systems, memorable encounters, high levels of polish within core mechanics. For a few years, it didn't matter what it was, Platinum was a safe bet for me. I was guaranteed to like whatever game they made. And boy oh boy did they fuck that one up. TMNT went from Game of the Year prospect to one of the most disappointing games of the year, if not the generation. But if you're looking for full-bore negativity, this video isn't gonna be for you. That's because TMNT isn't wholly a bad game. Just mostly a bad game. Like, really mostly. Like a lot. In fact, let's start on a high note. The good stuff. Don't worry, this won't take long. TMNT does get something right. It doesn't save the game, of course, but it is solid. And that's platforming.
Oh shit, it's not the combat?
Oh no. Mobility and beat-em-ups really could do with more intersection. It'd just make for better downtime, and the turtles got the moves. When you're able to, you flow throughout the open maps, rail grinding, wall climbing, and grinding all over the city. It's so smooth and enjoyable to cruise around. It's genius, and it should be implemented in future titles, without a doubt. And that's about it, actually. Look, I think their ideas about control schemes that let you activate special abilities or swap turtles with the same buttons that you do, like your combat with, I think those are good. They're not implemented well, but I do love the idea behind it. What I don't love is pretty much everything else. Combat. It blows. Now see, I could stop this whole review right now. I don't, do I even need? This is Platinum games we're talking about. Combat is what you do. Combat is why we love Platinum, fighting fucking crazy enemies with stylish moves. It's the core of every project they produce. Well, not every project, but pretty much every project that we like them for, that they've made. This is what is at the center of the experience, and it's shipped in a terrible state. Animations are by a standard, limp, lifeless, free from strong tension and release, or even wispy elegance. And the sound design doesn't help much. No basic attack has a good sound effect attached to it. Nothing carries any impact or follow through, and the presentation of this stuff matters. This is what you'll be looking at and listening to, and it's gotta be good. It's gotta be strong, it's gotta be personal, it's gotta be all these things that you'd find in other Platinum Games systems. Oh, but surely it still has good dial combos, right, Vash? Yeah, sure, if you want to try figuring this shit out for yourself. Because there is no combo list. that shit's gone. Bearing in mind they can throw pauses at various points in combo chains for an increased move list, all of which is a mystery to me because they neglected a move list menu. Beyond that, we have our usual forms of offsets, but why? Does it really matter to interrupt combos when there's nothing important at the end of them? What used to be wicked weaves that nuked enemies or broke guards, and Datsus that let you regain health, rush attacks that closed gaps or launched enemies is now replaced with oh, it's nothing. Oh Vash, you silly demo declone you, what about the ninjutsus? Well, shit. Where's my Crunchyroll subscription? At first, I thought ninjutsus were gonna be dope. What a neat way to integrate moves that directional inputs provide without actually having them be directional inputs. But they're nowhere near as enjoyable or smoothly implemented. Ninjutsus rarely work within your dial combos, thanks to long startup and recovery times sectioning off the different combat mechanics into 2, technically 3 different camps that doesn't meld with other Platinum games, feeling more like the difference between melee and ranged combat in MGR rather than melee and ranged combat in Transformers. Which I guess is perfectly okay because ninjutsus are kind of all that matter. Much like in Transformers, the Turtles have RPG-style level-ups on their ninjutsus which practically break the higher difficulties, which comes at the expense of basic combat. Look at this. I'm practically doing chip damage with dial combos, but as soon as I start whipping around the hand signs and the
Kage Bushin no Jutsu,
boss health bars come apart in chunks. Anyone having difficulty clearing hard or very hard should just run 4 red drinks in their inventory and pop them before blowing cooldowns. It's like bloodlust for a shaman. And this also just makes for the laziest difficulty select I have seen in a long time. Look, what separates First Climax from Infinite Climax in Bayo 2? Numbers, yes, but also AI aggression and capability. In TMNT, if these dudes are more aggressive on hard or very hard, I didn't notice. They'll hit harder and there'll be more of them, but that's about it. This was the worst part of Transformers Devastation. Grinding and spreadsheets cheapen your mechanical growth as a player, and Platinum knows better. In Bayonetta, you don't upgrade damage values, you get new moves. Enemies take consistent damage, and it's up to your skill and creativity to get the most out of that damage. So why not just use nothing but ninjutsus? Oh. Right. Well, bittersweet is the word I'd use, because activating any one of your big MMO moves comes with a free ticket from the fun police until you get to use them again. And maybe, just maybe, some of this would have been excusable if the enemies you used these attacks on were even remotely engaging. In a GDC conference given by Platinum Games producer Atsushi Inaba, he spoke about what an action game was.
So we're
going to start off with a very simple and basic question. What is an action game? So this is what I think. It's a set of actions responding to output. And you might be wondering, what does the output mean then? So output to us refers to situations such as the enemy appearing right in front of you or you being attacked. So for example, attacking the enemy because it appeared in front of me, or dodging the bullet because the enemy's attacking you. These actions are reactive moves taken against the output I just mentioned. Something happens and you react to it.
With this in mind, it breaks my brain to think of how these enemies shipped in the state that they're in. Enemy variation isn't, especially in comparison to other Platinum games. When thinking of the different types of enemies in TMNT, I'm only coming up with a list of like 10-12 dudes, counting a helicopter. But even if there were dozens of unique enemy types, why did Platinum give them a lethal dose of Adderall? In a game like Transformers Devastation, the regular enemies will still rush you from the other side of the map and attempt to attack you on like the normal difficulties. But in TMNT, they'll just jog over to you, stop, wait a few seconds, file a tax return, and then pull a name from a hat to find out who will take a swing. And when they do take a swing, it's the laziest goddamn attack. Grace and Glory would be ashamed. They're basically just Dynasty Warriors enemies. And if there's anything that doesn't fight back, it's a Dynasty Warriors enemy. And it's a shame that the bosses are the same way too. Sure, they're more aggressive and bigger, but they're not interesting. What used to be sick duels are now replaced by a roving brick squad of teenagers ganging up on an impressionable young lady and a mentally retarded giant. There's no hype or danger to any of them. They're designed more like MMO bosses than beat-em-up bosses. Look at all these AoEs. You wouldn't see this in a typical Platinum fight. What are you, a Death Knight? Yes, these bosses are the only times I actually feel motivated to use ninjutsus, or swap turtles for that matter, not because they're demanding the best of me mechanically, but more because they can take the beating. Partially because of their big burly retard physique, and partially just because of how much health they're packing away. 9 health bars. Nobody tell me this game was Kingdom Hearts? And it's all just here to pad out the time, because nothing cool or memorable happens in these fights. There are no super sick phase shifts, or even a tasteful set piece to throw some spice into the mix. The best you get is if you burst down a boss quickly enough, the game will be like, oh, I have been bested, it's time to call in backup. And then another boss will show up. Bebop calls Rocksteady and vice versa. And if you thought shit was crazy when there was one boulder to punch, Sonny D, you ain't seen nothing yet. Why does this game feel like a Platinum Muso or a shitty MMO? Is there like some numbers game I'm not seeing here? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4.
How many niggers are in my store?
Oh, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because even in offline play, there are 4 turtles active on screen at all times. The designers had to think big to compensate. Big quantitatively, not qualitatively. That's why bosses practically drop a carpet bomb on you in regular fights. Scale the population of China, they're big and bulky without being tight and precise like other encounters Platinum have produced. Oh, and while we're still talking about what makes Platinum games good, padding is not on that list. With that said, why the open world with random missions? At first I was okay with this, but in retrospect, I was a fucking retard. Running around a big empty level leaves you looking for something, anything to do. It's true that in Bebop or Karai stages you're able to use your platforming abilities to roam and enjoy yourself, but in Rocksteady or Slash's stages you're practically just running in a series of straight lines. Oh, the missions though. These missions, my guys. Variety. Variety for variety's sake was taken to a whole new level. Defusing bombs, transporting bombs, hacking terminals, doing stealth takedowns in a IT department. Missions will come down randomly, they're picked from a pool, and none of them are up to any type of quality standard you'd expect from a Platinum game. Holding circle in front of a bomb or in front of a computer terminal is the type of nerd shit I'd want in a Payday 2, not in a game based on high-paced action from a developer known for high-paced action. And they knew they were fucking up. Look at this, 10 minutes on a timer to disarm 4 bombs? It should send red flags when the boring filler can take as long as some full chapters of Metal Gear Rising. But maybe it wouldn't have upset me so much if the artificial intelligence driving your teammates was actually intelligent. Enemies could be mainlining Lunesta, but it's way worse when your teammates forgot to take their medication that morning. Because what'll wind up happening is this. I'll start a boss fight, have a full rotation planned where I'll blow all DPS cooldowns on the boss at the start, switch to Mikey to use Cheerleader, which will reset everyone else's ninjutsu cooldowns. It's basically the most effective ninjutsu in the game, but the strategy depends on multiple factors, some of which are completely outside of my control as the player. How many ninjas are still alive? Which of their cooldowns have they not already blown? This is practically a pre-flight checklist which has to be done every time I want to swap to another turtle. This is the problem with solo play. The HUD is a mess of meters and icons that have to be checked constantly before you can swap to another turtle or use a cooldown, and the AI will fuck with this, and that's a problem. Because each of these 4 turtles represents something important. Each icon represents a quarter of my constant damage output, my utility, my health, and 3 of the 4 are piloted by complete fucking idiots. And I wish it stopped at the combat. Just look at this. They cannot follow me onto this crane. They aren't meant to function independently in the environments they're placed in. That's why they're constantly teleporting behind you while you're platforming. It's not because you're moving so much faster than they are. It's because they have no idea how to path along anything that isn't a straight line. Oh, but Vash, just go online, see? Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, perfect. Just so I can watch another human being completely fuck up a game plan. And you don't even have full access to the rest of the Turtles in online play, so what's the point? It's a completely different gameplay experience, and one that I can barely experience anyway, because as of a week after launch, the PC matchmaking is a ghost town, effectively rendering the game's entire premise of 4 turtles on screen for multiplayer. It's completely useless because nobody uses it. Alright, what else is wrong? Oh yeah, the soundtrack. Now, you know your boy. I hope at this point. You know how your boy gets down. You know how much soundtracks matter to me personally. You know how good the soundtracks usually are in Platinum games, which makes it really awkward when a Platinum game has an OST this soft. If you're wondering if the music used in this video is from the TMNT soundtrack, it isn't. This is what the game actually sounds like. It is always this weak, lifeless, looping, milquetoast bullshit. What it lacks is punch, and anything to actually make it sound like an action soundtrack, or a stealth soundtrack for that matter. And nothing grounds it in a story about a series of random acts of crime, culminating in a giant world-ending catastrophe. Oh shit, did we just breach story discussion? Ah, fuck. Well, I mean, we would have, but what story?
Oh dear, guys, be careful in Slash's territory. Wouldn't want to fuck with that guy. Hey, do me a favor and just keep going deeper and deeper into Slash's territory. Trust me, it'll be great, but be careful. Oh hey, guys, it's Slash. You know, the guy we expressly said we try to avoid, but did nothing to actually avoid. Funny how life works.
Now remember, dudes, don't hurt Slash. We're guests in his home.
Oh, why are you hurting me?
Shut up, Slash. We're here to help. Faggot. It's just a prank, bro. Come on.
At least that's how I remember it going anyway. The only thing that comes even close to advancing the plot comes from Slash, whom after you kick the shit out of him, even though Mikey said not to kick the shit out of him, he turns to you and is all, "Oh,
Fucking space guns, bros."
And this is somehow meant to tie into Wingnut's UFO or the plan to bring Cyber Satan into the city, and we're connecting a lot of dots that I'm not sure we can right now. It's clear that the story isn't up to much, and that's kind of a shame. Some cutscenes lack any dialogue at all, and some of them are short as shit. And I would feel so bad if I were actually into this universe. Because Casey Jones is name-dropped, but never actually appears in the main storyline. It's my understanding that Casey is a pretty big deal. He's a big player in the TMNT lore and mythos, but we never actually see or hear from him directly. Also, are all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles supposed to be this annoying? Remember, not a fan here, but memes and distracting dialogue from the Turtles all around an enjoyable cast does not make. Now, I guess that explains the ending cutscene. A bomb is about to blow up, taking the whole city with it, and Raphael Sai fucks with the controls accidentally, practically ensuring their deaths, and they're just all,
"Alright, Turtles! What do we want? Death! That's right, boys! We finally got the death we wanted! We're on about to do this! Right, boys, what do we want? Death! 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 Death!
So, what conclusions can we draw from Mutants in Manhattan? Well, for one, to answer a question that I'm sure a lot of people have, is TMNT the sequel to Legend of Korra? No, actually, it's the spiritual successor to Anarchy Reigns. Running around big maps, doing lame, unpolished missions, and fighting unsatisfying mooks until you can move the plot forward. The boss fights are the only time you're actually motivated to use all the tools available to you and use them well, but whereas Anarchy Reigns actually handled boss fights really well, TMNT never has the same feeling of hype or intensity. The soundtrack's way worse too. And really, that's the problem, isn't it? Because the Turtles hurt more for what's absent than what's present. What's missing is the Platinum Touch, a series of some of the most brilliant ideas executed really well that brings life and fun to mundane actions in games. It's what turned a dodge button into witch time and gave us dodge offset to work with. The Platinum Touch brings outrageous fights and moments of just pure insanity that shows so much love for what it means to be a video game. The Platinum Touch gave us rules of nature in the Armstrong fight. It gave us a segment in Bayonetta where you punch a god into the sun. It took Transformers Devastation into outer space and made it work. The Platinum Touch ensures that as many things as possible that you'll be doing in gameplay will be fun and flowing. And there is no way in hell that a game with the Platinum Touch would default to bomb defusal and escort missions that amount to holding down circle. And there's no way a game with the Platinum Touch would feel this soft and this unsatisfying to play. And this is where the blame game comes into play, doesn't it? A lot of blame going around lately. Shit specifically flung over to Activision's side of things. For my money, though, the blame for TMNT can be laid both on Activision as the publisher and Platinum as the developer. Activision basically gave Platinum just enough rope to hang themselves with, that Platinum then turned around and tried to bungee jump with. If you're not following me, I think it's likely that Activision gave Platinum a Little Caesars pizza in budget and dev time to work with, but Platinum's response shouldn't have been to throw a B director at the project to craft so many different stages, bosses, and missions when they couldn't keep them up to a quality standard. Part of being a good developer is to know how to allocate funding and plan for deadlines. If even half of the time spent padding the game out with missions went into the combat instead, this game and this video would have turned out very differently. TMNT really, though, is just such a huge letdown. It is legitimately a betrayal of every quality standard that Platinum has set for itself and for beat-em-ups. And I hear people talking about the price point like it matters. Oh, I'll wait for a sale. I'll wait for it to go down to $15, and all I can think of is, why? Why put a price tag on being bored? I think we've hit a true bottom in Platinum's roster. I'm gonna keep fingers crossed and hope we can't go lower. Whether or not the blame rests solely on director Iro Shirahama's shoulders or not remains to be seen. And I've not even spoken about the performance yet. TMNT runs capped at 30 FPS on PC with dips, and I'm running this on a GTX 980, bearing in mind. And why they wanted to have a beat-em-up with parry or dodge timings in a 30 FPS environment and then expect you to take that onto a peer-to-peer online match is beyond me. And especially after they went on to Kinda Funny Games and started talking all this good shit about 60 frames per second as the reason why there's no local co-op is just the perfect bow to wrap all of this disappointment up in. I sat and played through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan several times because I don't trust reviewers to share my taste for beat-em-ups. But for once, I find myself agreeing with critics who usually get this shit abhorrently wrong. And just to reiterate, in case there is any ambiguity whatsoever, do not buy this game. Don't even torrent it. Games are meant to be fun and exciting. TMNT Mutants in Manhattan is neither. My name is Vash TSB, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, I lied. It's not even done yet. You see, I knew there was a reason to wait for E3 to release this. Because of all the trash that was shown off, there was one game that brought the hype, and you already know. Nier Automata. This boss fight, though. I've not played Nier yet, so I don't know if it's actually going to feel good to sit down and play it, but bearing some of my issues with TMNT in mind, pay attention to this glorious display. What's that? You got problems with the presentation? The fuck out of here. Automata's boss looks great and sounds great on all levels. AI partners ruining your fun? Look at this kid. Check how he handles these lasers. He's spot dodging. And this is so good. AI partners have a rare opportunity in games to be dependable and educational. The exact opposite of Turtle AI in TMNT. The dude playing Yorha 2B right now is playing it safe, playing lame. But Boy Puss, though, he is going in, and his AI pattern is giving the player an idea of what to do in the fight. Because when I get to this fight, I'm not going to try to jump over the lasers, I'm going to use iframes to stay engaged. And speaking of engagement, it might not seem like much of a duel, but this boss is keeping my attention a hell of a lot better than anything in TMNT. Seemingly all of her attention is paid to you as the player, with no opportunity for the boss to get distracted and lose aggro. Are ninjutsus breaking up the flow of your combos? I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of live weapon swapping. You a little disappointed by the OST in TMNT? Dog, are you in hearing this track? Because I don't think you're, I'll be honest, I don't even think you're listening. I'll wait to hear it in full, but I'm willing to bet that Keiichi Okabe can outdo anything in TMNT hand over fist. Oh, one more thing. The shmup section. Check how seamless of a transition this is. 1 second you're doing a beat-em-up boss, now it's a bullet hell. And I'm willing to bet that there's no awkward control scheme gimmicks either. And boom, just as soon as it came, it's gone again. And now you're back to the fight in the traditional camera angle. And it's programmed with a breakdown in the boss fight theme? This is the platinum touch that I was talking about. This is exactly what I was on about, to a T. I'm still combing the extended footage from the E3 streams, but I'll give you a little bit of insider trivia on your boy. Bayonetta 2 was the tipping point for me to get a Wii U. And if Nier stays exclusive to the Bloodborne Station 4, I might just need another console in 2017. Also guys, thank you so much for getting Vash the Shell Bullet to 4,000 subscribers. I don't know if you caught any of them while you were watching, but there are a lot of hidden visual Easter eggs in this video. Some of them are easy to find and some of them are pretty well hidden. If anybody can find all of the Easter eggs in the video and just type them to me in a comment or tweet them to me, you win a free game. I don't know what game yet. It might be Ori. It could be Transformers Devastation. It might be Transformers Devastation, actually. I think I will do... yeah. It'll be Transformers. If you want a free copy of Transformers or Ori, just get hunting. Ugh. I love all of you like you are my own flesh and blood. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yes! Get in my ass!